Hello, my name is TJ Fuentes. My father was a great man. He loved Orange County and he loved the Republican Party. He was a fighter and his legacy lives on today. I'm honored that every year at our annual Flag Day salute, we honor an individual who continues his legacy and love for the Republican Party. On behalf of my family, we are proud that this year's Thomas A. Fuentes Award recipient is the Honorable Ed Royce.
There is nobody who is a harder working member of Congress, or before that, a member of the state legislature, or for us in the Republican Party of Orange County, a harder working politico. He walks the precincts he asks everybody else to walk. He does the phone calls he asks everybody else to do. He does the late nights that he asks everybody else to do. He's flying back and forth across the country to make sure his constituents are served at all times. There isn't anything that he hasn't asked somebody to do that he hasn't done and is willing to do himself.
Edward Randall Royce is retiring from Congress after 13 terms representing North Orange County.
What we like about him is his common sense attitude, the way he attacks the issues, the problems. It's well thought out. Like I said, it's common sense and people can relate to that. So his legacy is going to be strong and steady.
He's warm, he's a very good listener, and he cares.
He has taught me two great lessons, such as always be true and stay connected to the people that you represent. And you can get a whole lot of things done if you don't care who takes the credit. I've worked for Congressman Ed Royce for over 2.5 decades. So he has not only become a great political mentor for me, but he is a wonderful friend. And he has become a fixture where my children have grown up, knowing that he's like Uncle Ed.
Orange County has always been part of Congressman Royce's life. He graduated from Catella High School in Anaheim and earned his BA in Accounting and Finance from Cal State Fullerton.
You never saw Ed without a book. I mean, he was always reading history, philosophy, economics, the classics, whatever. He just would go nowhere without a book. It's why he is so brilliant today.
I first met Ed Royce in the late 60s when I was chairman of Young Americans for Freedom. And I went down to our YAF chapter at Cal State Fullerton, and I met the chapter chairman for the first time, Ed Royce, who had beautiful long black hair, slicked back all the way down to the end of his shoulders. I thought he was the coolest guy in the world. A couple of years later, I discovered he's really an accountant and a CPA.
For Ed, public service is in his DNA. His father, Ed Royce Sr., served under George S. Patton in World War II and served on the city council and as mayor of Stanton for over a decade.
The first call came when, my recollection is when you called me and said, I've got somebody to run in that Robinson seat against Frank Barbero, who is on the other side. I said, you're not going to beat Frank Barbero. Who you got? He said, I got a guy named Ed Royce. And I said, wonderful. I like Ed. He's been active in Stanton, Water District, an exemplary war hero. I said, wrong, Ed. Who you got? He said, it's his kid. I said, I don't know his kid. So we end up going down to Martin Aviation. We sit down at Martin Aviation with Bill Campbell and Ken Maddy, and we said, with Henley, and this guy's no good.
But this is right before the general election, not the primary.
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah.
Because Brother Henley wasn't with us in the primary.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
he was there later.
I thought you guys were nuts. Yeah,
we were nuts.
He first ran for office in 1982, and with the help of his family and friends, he was elected to the California State Senate, where he began to champion victims' rights. He authored the nation's first anti-stalking law, and versions of his bill have been adopted in all 50 states. He was also the legislative author and campaign co-chair of California's Prop 115, the Crime Victims Speedy Trial Initiative, approved by the voters in 1990. In 1992, Royce was elected to Congress with 57% of the vote. He has been re-elected every time with no smaller a margin. In Congress, Ed has continued his fight for victims' rights. He wrote and passed the Interstate Stalking Punishment and Prevention Act in 1996. Royce was active in passing Amber Alert legislation in 2003 and legislation in 2004 to enhance rights for victims of crimes.
I think Ed is one of the true mensches of the world in politics. I think he's an extraordinary human being. He listens to what we have to say, what we need, evaluates what that is, and then decides these are issues that I'm going to really put a stake in the ground about. And he is the real deal.
In January 2013, Ed was selected to be chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee and has held that position ever since. Ed's been one of our nation's premier representatives to foreign governments around the world and a strong advocate of a foreign policy that keeps the American homeland safe. From tax reform and education to human rights and veterans affairs, Representative Royce has been a leader for policy that best serves California.
He does an incredible job as the chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee. And I know that every time I see him on the news and I hear him speak, I'm extremely proud that he's our representative here in California.
He's probably one of the very few congressmen that would take the Africa subcommittee and make that a passion and make real policy differences and changes in people's lives there.
Chairman Royce has been a thoughtful partner in every major piece of African legislation put forward over the last 20 years.
I'm honored to be his friend. He's one of those people that really contributed tremendously in the rapprochement between the United States and Africa.
When we started this effort on AGOA, the concept was to put Africa on the map for trade and investment.
Ed's someone who believes in private enterprise and the power of private enterprise in Africa. And so he's worked really hard to make sure that the trade and investment are key parts of our approach to Africa.
Marie and Ed have had a steady partnership for so many years. Marie has been such a compliment to Ed. She's also shown genuine interest in African issues. Her interest in Africa is very deep.
His activism is only exceeded by his leadership, and to work effectively across the aisle to advance U.S.-African relations.
I think what's unique about Ed Royce's leadership is not only his head crafting those key initiatives, but his heart and the fact that he cares deeply about the continent and the people who live there.
Representative Royce's greatest legacy is his relationship with the people of the 39th Congressional District. He could often be found spending time in Orange, Fullerton, Yorba Linda, or Brea, speaking to the people who sent him to Washington.
When I call him, when I interact with him, it was never about anything he could do for me or I could do for him. It was about what made the world a better place.
Honesty, integrity, the ability to reach across the aisle, to make a difference, to be focused, to make the world a better place.
Ed Royce is one of California's most accomplished public servants. His hard work and outreach to diverse communities made him an exceptionally effective representative. Ed, I send my warmest congratulations and best wishes as you and Marie enter a new chapter in life. Thank you for your service.
A principled California conservative in the mold of Ronald Reagan, Ed Royce serves every day armed with the powerful ideas and a desire to accomplish great things for our country. I know I speak for all of California Republicans when I say that Ed Royce will be greatly missed in Washington, and we wish Ed and Marie all the best when they return to their beloved home of California.
Ed Royce, you are our champion. We couldn't have had a better congressman, a better state senator, or a better leader in our party over the last 30 years. You will have a well-deserved retirement, but we are very sad to not have you as part of our team. We will always rely on you for your mentorship and your guidance. We'll be calling you, Ed.
The Orange County Republican Party is proud to honor Representative Ed Royce with the 2018 Thomas A. Fuentes Award.